Hey guys, quick video. I just want to talk about the balance between being receptive to advice, being coachable, and also being able to take feedback like a sponge to learn. The balance between that and rejecting advice. When advice is bad, it's obvious what to do, you just reject it. But when advice is good, what I want to talk about today is like sometimes it's better to reject it or suspend it or suspend the implementation or the consideration of it until the right time. So what got me thinking about this is sometimes people give me advice. Sometimes it's bad advice, but when it's good advice, I'm like, I don't feel right following it or even thinking about it right now. I sort of don't want to open my mind to it, although I acknowledge and accept that it's good advice. I think one of the contexts where this is pretty relevant is when you're trying to start a new habit. In Atomic Habits by James Clear, one of the 4 principles to habit creation is to make something easy, to make it easy, right? To make performing the habit that you're trying to implement easy, frictionless and easy, so that we increase the chances of actually following through and improving with incremental gains, rather than it being hard or frictionful, where we take action less or we are more prone to sort of delaying or not starting the project or habit altogether. So I think when we're first starting something, we want to figure out what exact actions have the highest impact and they're sort of easy with the goal of getting us started, right? And so sometimes when criticism or critique is true and we're in that make it easy phase, like at least for me, I just want to make it easy and I know that I need to make it easy, otherwise I'm not going to do the thing, right? So for example, I was with my friend the other day and he's like, you have a proper camera, why won't you film your YouTube videos with your camera? I'm like, dude, I'm probably not going to do it just because I'm in the beginner phase, and if I use my phone, it's frictionless, I can just start recording, and for me at my stage that's a really big achievement, right? Though I'm sure I could get better quality pictures or better quality videos, with my camera, and so on and so forth, like better lighting, etc, etc, etc. And he even told me like there's no point making bad quality content. Not that he was saying the stuff I'm making is bad, but it was a general thing he was saying, and I'm like, that's true, right? Like you want to make really good stuff, but I also need the habit, and I'm on my way to making really good stuff, but on my way to get there I need to make it easy and fun, otherwise, knowing me, and I think it's a thing that generally applies as well, it's not going to happen unless it's easy and fun. If I can slot a reflection habit in between my attempts, it's going to get better eventually. So that's the thing. And the other principle is the 80-20 rule, which is so famous. We want to be focusing on the 20% of things that give the 80%. 20% of the things that give 80% of the results, right? So that valid or true critique could be true, but at a given point in time, it might not fit in that 20% of the things that I should be focusing on. Though maybe next week it will, maybe the week after it will. So there's the balance between like, you can't just like not listen to anybody and not take feedback, because feedback is one of the most important things to getting better. But at the same time, when you're trying to start something, we need to keep it easy and keep it fun, right? And if in a circumstance thinking more or planning more, strategizing more is going to add some friction and decrease the chance of action, then what I'm doing is sort of postponing that or delaying it till a bit later. Not that I want to ignore it and think I'm always right, because that's really not wise, and I'm sure from an external point of view people can see so many things that I can't see, right? Which is so valuable, but it's got to come, at least in terms of the implementation and the time to sort of consider it, it's got to come at the right time. That's it. Yeah, I was reflecting through the day and there was one example that came to mind. So this morning I was talking with one of my managers and they're extremely skilled, and I realized when I catch up with them and I hear their sort of approaches and their feedback, I'm usually much more ready to listen to it. And I think it's not only because they're very skilled, but I think it's because I've invested a lot of time into programming and like I work full time. So it's not like a habit I'm trying to get where it's going to full overwhelm me, and I'm ready to stop and reassess my approach, even if it sort of adds a lot of friction. So what I'm trying to say is the stage we're at when learning a skill or developing habits, I think the more developed we are in a certain skill set, I think it affects our capacity to sort of absorb deep advice. In this case, it sort of got to the point where I knew my capacity was about to hit its limit, and then I told him, okay, I think that's enough, because that's already a lot of information and it's extremely valuable. But if we complicate it a bit more, it's going to be a bit too much friction, and I'm going to probably do less or put it off a bit more than I would like, because I've sort of got enough for now. So yeah. Anyway, that just came to mind. That's just an example. And yeah, and I think it applies when we're talking to others as well. If we're mindful of where they're at, then it's one factor in assessing whether a certain piece of advice is worth giving or not. Anyway, that's it for now. See you later.